So we recently did Smokey and the Bandit here on the 6M podcast. Me and the gentleman I'm recording with here today had a lot of fun on that episode. Hopefully all you good people checked it out because I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think it was a good time. We covered a lot of stuff. We talked about the big year that was 1977 and how Smokey and the Bandit was the second highest grossing film of that year behind Star Wars. Yes, you heard it right. Again, if you didn't listen to that episode, you're missing out. You're doing life wrong. Do yourself a favor. Go check it out. The film we're talking about here today came out in 1984, and believe it or not, yeah, it did pretty well. It only came in at number 4, but let's talk a little bit about the top 10 before we get cranking here today. The highest grossing films of 1984, number 10, From the Ground Up, Splash, Star Trek III, The Search for Spock, Romancing the Stone, Footloose, Police Academy, The Karate Kid, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, Beverly Hills Cop, and Ghostbusters. Holy God in heaven. Are you kidding me? The movie we're talking about here today came in at number 4. So needless to say, it made some coin. I can't wait to talk about it. If you happen to be catching the video portion of this here podcast, which we never do for the 6M, but we're doing something different here. There's a reason. It's a holiday. It's an event. It's the Christmas episode, kids. You already know it. We're letting the cat out of the bag right now if you didn't. It's going to be fun. And again, if you're watching the video, hi. You see the decorations and the snow, and you know we're ready to get jolly up in here with what many consider to be maybe not a Christmas movie. But look, it's all subjective. We like it, so we're going to do it. Let's get into it. Gremlins is a 1984 American comedy horror film directed by Joe Dante, written by Chris Columbus. Yes, that Chris Columbus. And starring Zach Galligan, Phoebe Cates, Hoyt Axton, Polly Holliday, and Francis Lee McCain, with Howie Mandel providing the voice of Gizmo, the main Mogwai character. It draws on legends of folkloric mischievous creatures that cause malfunctions, or gremlins, in the British Royal Air Force going back to World War II. That's right, kids. This thing's got, and back to Looney Tunes as well. I'm just saying. The story follows a young man who receives a strange creature as a pet, and then chaos ensues. The release date, June 8th, 1984, distributed by Warner Brothers Pictures. The budget for this movie. Grab something and hold on, children. The budget for this film was $11 million. The total box office, $212.9 million.
Knocked it out of the park.
Holy Lord. Holy Lord. And that is your lowdown for Gremlins. My God, Chris, did you know this movie made that much freaking money?
I assumed that it made that much money. I didn't know the budget was so low because, like, you would think that they spent like $2 million on the puppets for this for this film, like the animatronics, right?
It is insane. Stuff's not cheap. God, there was such. All right, so this movie came out. I was 11. Don't anybody snicker, because if you do, bad things will happen to you. I'm a nice person. But there was such a buzz around this movie, and they kept the image and the appearance of Gizmo under wraps for so long. And like, even like the teaser poster, Chris, I think was the box with the little hand coming out, or eyes maybe, and you never saw what was in it. You couldn't get away with that today if you wanted to. You can't hide anything on the internet, dude.
Yeah, God forbid that people get a pleasant surprise when they go to a movie or watch something on TV. You kind of spoil everything. Did you? So as a kid, before we get deep dived into this, I had these, like, do you remember these books you used to get, and they had a 45 in them?
Yes.
And they were like audiobooks. So I had like this entire Gremlins set, like a narrator reading about the. And I wish I still had them, but that was like one of my favorite things as a kid.
That is awesome. And to be honest with you, I am 99% sure I had that as well, because I was real big on those book and records. I had one of The Hobbit. And
I had that as well.
Did you? That is so much fun.
Adventure is
yes.
Fun, you never know.
And it had like dramatic music. It wasn't bad. Yeah. It wasn't bad.
No, those are entertaining. We need to bring those back. Let's me and you, we're going to start a GoFundMe of bringing back animated movies to VHS, or not VHS, but vinyl / books.
I'd be okay with that. Is this the one that you had?
Yes, the
I
Gift of
had that.
Mogwai. Yeah, I
The
had
Gift
all.
of
I
the
had this
Mogwai.
entire set.
Oh man.
Man, I'm gonna have to spend some dumb money on eBay later
I
and
am later. Oh my God, this
re-get
brings back.
these.
There's the set. I did have. Oh my God, I totally had this.
I did too, and also I thought like I thought that the Corvette, like, well, I still do. I think that's like one of the coolest things ever. Is like the Mogwai driving the Barbie Corvette. It's just,
Yeah.
it's so iconic to me.
$30 right now on a site called Rock and Relics. You're welcome, kids. There's your plug, whoever runs that website. I'll drop $30 for that in a heartbeat.
Dude, yeah. I didn't mean to put that into your life, but I was just.
Now I got to do it. Now I got to
yeah.
do it.
Me too. Hopefully they don't just have one available. It's going to see who gets off the show first.
Yeah. Oh, that's good stuff. So yeah, this movie's big, kids. If you've never watched Gremlins and you decide to give it a shot because you're a fan of this here little podcast, first of all, thank you. Second, you are going to flat out enjoy this. This is silly goofball fun. This is good old fashioned 1984 fun. And full disclosure, Chris, I haven't watched this movie in years, so I don't know how it ages. I don't know how much is going to be cringe. I mean, I've seen it a bunch. I have, but it's been years. When's the last time you saw it?
I always watch the Gremlin films around Christmas. So last year.
Do you?
Probably.
Awesome.
Yeah. So
is any of it cringe?
I mean, outside of the fact that Gremlins are kind of like a anti-Japanese term, outside of that, no, it's the movie itself and the acting and the dialogue and stuff's fine.
I wasn't suggesting that suddenly there was like a terribly racist character that I'd forgotten about or anything, but sometimes you watch older movies and you kind of forget. Oh, that's disturbing. You know what I mean? So like, I'm grateful there's nothing because I can't recall that there was. So
I mean, the neighbor is definitely like all.
That's right, the old dude
have Gremlins.
That's right.
It wasn't built in America. We haven't gotten there yet, but we'll
get there. So, kids, we know you came here for the movie commentary, and that's what we're going to give you. So, first of all, happy holidays to you. We'll say it again, I'm sure, before we sign off here today. But yes, this is the holiday episode. I'll call it holiday because I'll be respectful to everyone. I have no problem being respectful. So we'll call this the holiday episode here of the 6M podcast. If you are watching Gremlins, well, actually, it doesn't matter where you watch it because we've got the starting point and a good point for all. Chris and I both are watching this on HBO Max, or Max, as the cool kids call it now. So in the very beginning, you will see the Warner Brothers logo. Let that go off the screen and you'll hear the music. We'll let the music crescendo down to almost the ending point and then pause. Because that's where I'm at. If you guys can get there, and don't worry, we will drop markers as we go here. So if you get lost, if you fall behind, you'll be able to catch back up. We've actually done that in real time with audio commentary here on the show before, and it helps tremendously because sometimes we'll record something and for some reason one of us just gets off. I don't know what happens, but anyway, hopefully that won't happen this time. So kids, if you're ready, what number did you say this was? 9 seconds by your clock?
I'm stopped at 9 seconds, which is the bleed out of the Warner Brothers logo.
Okay. So I think I'm a little bit farther than you are because it's, for me, the logo's completely gone off screen. I've let the music play for like a couple of seconds till it's that crescendoed down. So I might be a bit ahead of you, but we'll see how far I am. All right, kids, here we go. The audio commentary for Gremlins. We're going to kick it down. When I say 1, everyone hit play. All right. This is the Lethal Weapon countdown. We go on 1. All right. 3, 2, 1. Right now, I have the picture on my screen. Do you have it?
Yep. Got the subtitles. Right. They're in the Japanese harbor village, I think.
Yep.
Here. What a name, by the way. Rand Peltzer.
Shout out to
Name's,
Hoyt Axton, man.
name's Rand Peltzer.
You know, we're talking about Jerry Reed on the Smoky Man episode. Hoyt Axton's had a career, folk singer, actor, Renaissance man. Highly recognizable voice.
Hopefully, as I get older, Tom, I'll be a Renaissance man like that. I'll be like a Jerry Reed. I'll show up in one of your favorite films, one of these Marvel movies. They need like a hobo-looking guy playing guitar. I got him.
Hobo with a shotgun, perhaps. Yeah, so we're okay, kids. There's a Chinese kid, and there's an older Chinese gentleman in this basement. We know that Hoyt Axton's character has come down here for a gift. To find something interesting. Think there's a monkey's paw down there?
I do appreciate the fact that they have like this bootleg New York Yankees hat.
That's fair.
It's like,
yeah.
It's not actually the logo, but it's like what you would get off Temu.
Right. Wish. It's the Wish thing.
Yes.
Hoyt Axton's he's always got that voice. Well, son, let me tell you. Back in my day, we used to play baseball down on the corner. You know what I mean?
Dude, I would totally buy something from this guy. As a salesman, this is such a convincing pitch for me.
Shelf toothbrush, toothpick, toenail clippers.
Oh, man.
God, I have forgotten this movie, dude.
So my nieces, they're, I think one's 12, one's 10, and I've been on the fence because like we always watch Christmas movies going over there. I was like, gotta show them Gremlins at some point. But, you know, kids are soft these days. So I also don't want to show them Gremlins and make them have a nightmare, you know. Because at the end of the day, this is supposed to be kind of a horror film. It's kind of weird because it has like a little bit of like it's a zombie movie essentially. If you think about it, you got Patient Zero and all the other. I mean, obviously they're little, but it's a zombie flick, right?
I've never considered it that way, but that makes a lot of sense. All right, kids, if you're with us, you just heard the little tiny animal sound.
Oh,
hear it again. It's cooing. Hoyt Axton just said, where's that coming from? The old man's looking up from the chessboard. Hoyt Axton's walking to the back of the store.
Yeah,
and he's taking the blanket up.
This scene also makes me sad because, like, obviously this company is in shambles and about to close, and the grandpa's like kind of dying, I guess. So the son sells him, like, well, we're not there yet, but we're about to be there. He sells him the Mogwai, even though the grandpa tells him not to. It's because they need the money, and that's really sad. Like,
it's true. Yeah, this is Key Luke as the grandfather and John Louis as his grandson. Key Luke's been a lot of stuff over the years, man.
Which in you know, according to X-Ray, it's China Boy. As the son here.
Not to be confused with China Girl. It's sung by David Bowie.
We already did a podcast about Snowman and drug running.
That's true. So he's telling Hoyt, just go. The old man doesn't want to sell the creature in the box.
I would pay if I was super rich, if I won the lottery, I would pay a stupid amount of money for one of these animatronic puppets if it was like fully put together.
Man. Yeah.
Like, this is why people can't have nice things because of me, because like if I had dumb money, this is the kind of stuff I would buy. Like this box with Mogwai's hand.
Yeah. And we got to point out, kids, keep him out of sunlight. Don't get him wet. No matter how much he cries, never feed him after midnight. Don't forget the 3 rules, kids. So Rand Peltzer, to your point, greatest name ever. Rocking Ricky Rialto. Whips out the oldies.
Dude, that's so great with the Indiana Jones logo with the
Yeah.
mic
Yeah.
and the font.
Kingston Falls. Steven Spielberg. We didn't mention Mr. Spielberg's name at the intro of this.
Honestly, I forgot that he did this film.
I did too. And honestly, he's not listed anywhere. I mean, his name's on the movie, but there's nothing here. He's not even listed as producer. Interesting.
I love Phoebe Cates so much. I love you,
Phoebe Cates.
Wherever you
awesome.
are right now, I love you.
You couldn't watch in my age and watch Fast Times at Ridgemont High and not love Phoebe Cates.
When I was like 12 years old, I was like, I'm going to date that girl. All right.
Yeah. She'll love me. Wait till she gets a load of all this.
Yeah. Just like acne face and like.
Yeah.
I can play like the beginning of Enter as Sandman. You think she'd be into that?
I could play the bass to Enter Sandman. I think she'd be into that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Corey Feldman's in this movie. Did I know that? Did I forget that?
Corey Feldman's in everything in the 80s, so I just assumed that he's going to be there. So.
We get our first look here, kids, at the heroes, Zach Galligan. Not to be confused with Zach Galifianakis or Jim Gaffigan.
Shout out to this puppy, though. He's a cool boy. What a cool boy.
Look at that old VW bug.
Have you ever driven or owned a bug?
The answer is no to both, but I have driven a VW bus.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was it like, this is terrible? Because that was my experience driving one of these. Like, this is awful.
God, they were on the roads in this country for years, weren't they? Like, oh my God, forever.
My grandpa used to tell a very funny story of like, they had a friend that had a Volkswagen Bug, and they would go out like as a group, and they would just pick it up and move it to a different parking spot to see if he noticed.
Uh-huh.
Like
That's
the
funny.
group of friends would just like pick it up and like move it one over.
Oh my God. I had an aunt that had one, a beige colored VW Bug. She kept that thing in great shape and had it for years. We just got our first introduction to Murray Futterman, played by Dick Miller, the great Dick Miller. That dude's been in Hollywood forever.
This
Dick
is
Miller,
specifically the character. Goddamn foreign cars.
Yeah.
So the actor in The Crow, there's a scene where Worm is driving a car and he's trying to catch up to T-Bird in The Crow, and he specifically, like, everything is going wrong. He's hitting stuff with his car. He's like, goddamn foreign cars. It's a mention to this movie, which I always really appreciated.
That's funny.
Also, apologies for the profanity there, but those are the quotes from both films.
Did we mention Kingston Falls? It's a really traditional American named town, isn't it? Kingston Falls. Is there a Kingston Falls, or is this fictional?
I always assumed it was like Haddonfield, but I mean,
right.
Maybe there is a Kingstonville.
Well, let's find out. We're here, children. Kingston Falls.
In retrospect, now that I've been a pet owner for the majority of my life, bringing your dog to work and shoving him in a cabinet, not a good look, Mike.
Yeah. There's some PETA people out there very upset right now.
There she is. I love you, Phoebe Cates. You're the best.
Awesome. Kingston Falls, kids. Let's see.
So there's like the subplot of this movie where they're trying to save this old pub as a public landmark.
I've forgotten
So
that.
that's kind of like Phoebe Cates's gimmick of why she talks to him to begin with. It's like, I need everyone to sign this.
Looks like Kingston Falls is a fictional city. We now see an upset lady with a snowman head.
When we write our Christmas movie, it'll be Kofi Kingston Falls.
Of course.
And there'll be snow in Jamaica.
It'll be every bump he's ever took.
Yeah. That's the entire movie. It's just
the entire movie. Didn't take a bumps.
It's just every time he lost money in the bank. That's the film.
Yeah. This is Polly Holiday, kids. If you know Flo from Alice, then you know Polly Holiday. Chris, kiss my grits. So I watch that show with my mom all the time.
I'm expecting you to start hitting like the buttons though, because
right.
Kiss my grits.
God, we watched that. Me and my mom watched that when I was a kid. Vic Tayback was male. How do I remember that actor's name? Vic Tayback, I think. And then Alice and Vera. Vera got her own spin. Was it Flo got her own spin-off show or Vera? I can't remember now. Let's just talk about Alice.
This old lady is the worst, by the way.
Yeah.
So like as soon as going into this knowing what Gremlins is, right? But as a kid, I was so happy.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves.
I was gonna say let's don't ruin it for the good people out there. Zach Galligan is Billy Peltzer. Don't know if we mentioned that. He is working. This is a bank, yes?
Yeah, he's working at a bank and somehow has shoved his dog under the counter.
That's right.
That is currently. And this lady who's currently talking to him is mad because his dog broke her glass snowman. And now the dog has escaped because, who would have thought bringing your dog to a workplace? Not a great idea. You should put a vest on it, like a service animal vest.
Yeah.
Then no one could say anything. It's my anti-anxiety dog.
I can't stand a shock like that, she says. Judge Reinhold. How do I forget Judge Reinhold's in this movie?
Which is hilarious because Phoebe Cates is in this film, but also her brother from Fast Times at Ridgemont High is also in this film.
God, I'd forgotten this movie. Oh, I told you it's been years, man.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my heart, she says.
Is it warm feelings coming in? Like this is bubbling up. The love of Gremlins is coming back to you.
Well, once we see Gizmo, I'm sure. Yeah.
Someone out there has that as an entire back tattoo, like Yakuza style.
Of course. Judge Reinhold is Gerald Hopkins. That's a white guy name if I've ever heard one.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that coat. That's a white guy coat if I've ever seen one.
This guy is the epitome of doing white people stuff.
Judge Reinhold's just a really white guy, isn't he? I'm just saying. He's very good at it.
You know how mad I would be if my dad's name was Rand Peltzer and then he didn't name me Rand Peltzer Jr.
Man. Crazy. So kids, if you're catching up with us, they're in the bar and they're sitting together and Billy's sketching on his notepad.
He's talking to this investment banker.
Yes.
Douche.
Yes.
He's like, by the time I'm 30, I'm going to be a millionaire.
Phoebe Cates is Kate Behringer, in case we didn't give her name, is speaking. And now the older guy with the Santa hat just came by to speak to her. So there's your marker.
So, like, we never really, as far as I remember, there's no confirmation of why she wants to save this bar other than she works there.
I don't think there is one, is there? Let's see what the internet says.
Because, like I said, it's like briefly mentioned when they're in the bank of like, hey, can you sign this petition? He signs it.
Yeah, I don't have anything in front of me to suggest why. It's a Wonderful Life is playing on the TV. Continues to be one of my all-time favorite films, not just Christmas movie, children. Love this movie.
I've never seen it. I know. I've never seen it. I don't.
Oh,
There's no,
wow.
there's no particular reason why I've never seen it, other than it's just like never been on, or I've never like went out of my way to watch it, but I've never seen it.
I would suggest go, and I know you. I think you do this anyway, but I'll say this. I'll preface it with this. Go into it with an open mind and not thinking about what you've heard for 30 years. Don't even think about it. Just take it as a film and don't worry about, is it going to be bigger or smaller than what I think? I think you'd enjoy it because there's so many nuanced moments in that movie of the acting is just brilliant. It's the moments where there's no dialogue that you pick up on things. It's really well done, dude. For me, it's a personal favorite.
I'll add it to my Christmas watch list. We're getting through Gremlins, so we're already one.
Yeah.
We're already one ahead. So
There
I
you
got
go.
Muppets Christmas Carol. That's coming up.
Oh,
That's
of course.
that's on the docket. So yeah,
Of course.
I've just never seen It's a Wonderful Life. I've seen so many parodies of it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to try to wipe my mind of that to watch it.
Jimmy Stewart's one of my all-time favorite actors, if not my all-time favorite actor. And you'll know it when you see it, but the despair that he has and the utter, I don't have a choice. Like this is it. I'm done. I'm absolutely done. Like you take all movie to get to that point, that when it gets to that point, you feel, my God, he doesn't have anything left. It's over. This is the end. and so when you know that, and then you see the redemption at the end and the comeback, it just makes it that much better. So let's just talk about It's a Wonderful Life.
I love the wrapping paper because it's like such how I would wrap something, where like, well, I got a lot of it, just like, because I am terrible at wrapping gifts. This is how they look.
How you like the way he shook the crap out of that box too, by the way.
He was like, "Is it a bird cage?"
Dude. And Gizmo was like,
if it was a bird cage, you just killed whatever was inside of it. Jesus.
Yeah. You just gave him a concussion. Well done. And now, kids, the grand reveal. He's just took the paper off the box. He is now opening the box. All right. And now he's opening. So there's your marker. Holy Lord. Get ready, children. Oh!
It's still so good.
Said it's your new pet. Look at the hands coming up. That's classic. Look at that. Oh.
Yeah, dude. Like I told you, if I was stupid rich, Elon Musk style, this would be the kind of things I would be buying.
You'd do this and not buy a social media platform or run off all the advertisers because you're anti-Semitic? You wouldn't do that? That's what he did.
Turns out I like the Beastie Boys.
Oh, well, there you go. I like Mark Maron. Why do I want to hate that guy? Just saying.
What a goof. That guy's a goof.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He says, I don't know, some Chinese word. I just call him Gizmo. He seems to like it. That's Hort accent right there. What's this mean? Oh, I don't know. I just do this. What is this? I don't know. I just gave him to you.
There is just a warm feeling that I get inside every time I see Gizmo. It's like a hot chocolate inside of my body.
Yeah.
I love this movie so much. It's so good.
Right. And only now is Rand Peltzer telling him about the 3 rules.
To be fair, the dad is the only person that actually seems to care about these 3 rules throughout the film. He took it to heart. Just no one else listens to him. He's like, the old man told me there's 3 rules. Which kind of checks out because he has to explain like all of the rules of using his devices all the time because they're all terrible.
So what would Gizmo drink? I mean, he can have soda, but there's water in soda. He can have milk. Because I'm telling you, I don't remember.
He doesn't need to drink.
What if he gets choked on food? Right? He doesn't get parched.
Have you seen Mogwais eat? They never get choked on.
They're
like Goku.
That's fair. I like the bit with the Casio keyboard here with Gizmo. That's pretty sweet.
It's amazing.
He's like, nope. He just shook his head, no.
to bring it back to the vinyl child's novels, they have the notes and the when you're listening to it, they do the thing, and it's
That's
great.
right. Oh, I got to get those books now. Those books will be mine.
This was my every Christmas Facebook profile photo for the longest time.
Yeah. Look, he's in. He said every heel's in the can.
It's so good.
You know what's funny is that
sorry,
we
you fell in this trash can. He's pulling him out of the.
What's funny is we talk about how things are different. People are awake now. I hate to use that other word because it's been overplayed so much, and things are different. But if you made this movie today, the conversation on that couch would have been much different. Number one, what is this? Number two, is this thing dangerous? Number three, could it carry disease? Number four, can we have this in the house? Number five, is animal control going to get and to be honest, all these questions should have been asked here too. It doesn't matter what year it is, but no one's like, oh, what is it? I don't care. Let's keep it. It's Gizmo. What is it? I don't know. Let's pet it. Like, what?
Bro, when you open a box and this pops out of it, are you not gonna pet it?
I mean, I guess, but for all we know, it's got little fangs that'll take your jugular. Look at the little bandage over its head. That's freaking epic.
So adorable.
Oh, I love it.
The yawn. Oh my god. It's so good.
I'd be afraid the dog would try to eat it or hump it.
No, he's a good boy, Tom.
Well, okay. Look at one of the many inventions, the juicer right there.
I missed it when we were watching the first scene where they have the chicken that breaks the egg for him.
Yeah.
And then it just explodes and eggs goes everywhere.
Look, Billy making the decision. All right, fine, I'll try it. Let's see what happens.
I always felt that Stu from Rugrats was directly based on Rand Peltzer.
Oh, look at that.
It's the same.
That's funny. The Christmas tree is getting brought into the house, kids. So there's your marker. Well, it's a kid wearing a tree.
I love. God, see, I don't want to say it. I'll have to wait until after, but I will. There's some good foreshadowing. I will say that, but I don't want to say anything for it. Maybe some people out there that haven't seen the Gremlins of these devices and certain aspects in the background. They come to fruition, which I really appreciate.
Corey Feldman, little tiny Corey Feldman, before Goonies, before everything.
He got really into special effects makeup, and fought Michael or fought Jason that one time. This is what he was doing before that. Prior to him killing the boogeyman and becoming a vampire hunter, this is he's just hanging out in kitchens. That's what he's out here doing.
As a musician, have you heard him? Because he doesn't have a bad voice.
So, no, I have not. Years ago, he did this live video where he was riding around on one of those hoverboard things with a group of female angels singing with him, and he was high out of his mind. And that's my memory of Corey Feldman's music career. Or maybe he wasn't high. Maybe he's just really eccentric, but it was wild.
I heard him on a podcast, and I can't remember who it was now, but he's come out of it. He's been clean and sober for a while, and he's got a good story. And during COVID, he recorded a lot of music because no one had anything to do because we were all locked down, right? But yeah, it's actually not a bad voice. This is a much better shot of Gizmo here sitting up in the bed than we got before.
Bro, I also live in the 80s. They didn't care if the kid was that cute. Whereas when we get to the 90s, it's they got to be McCulkin level cute.
Yeah, you got to be adorable cute.
Yeah, because Corey Feldman, honestly, not to speak ill of the children, but it's not a cute kid. I was cuter than him as a kid. Bet.
Pete Fontaine is his character. Listen, he's singing again.
Corey Feldman also like as a child sounds like he smoked like 2 packs of Marlboros a day.
That's fair. Kids, we got a huge moment happening.
Oh
The
no.
dumb Corey Feldman kid done got Gizmo wet, and look what happened.
Why is he making that noise? I love that, like, whoever decided to do this, like, definitely thought about Star Trek with the little furry balls that take over the
Tribbles.
Enterprise or whatever.
The Tribbles,
yeah, the
yeah.
Tribbles. Yeah.
You notice how Gizmo's still struggling and no one's checking on him? He's still going, and no one's even looking at him.
I mean, to be fair, they are kind of freaked out. They just, a bunch of balls just popped off of them. So,
Well, now that,
this is one of the excuses of, like, maybe what the heck is going on here?
There's 5 total kids. 5. Holy Lord. Look at the way. Hoy. And the big reveal. There are other Mogwais.
Are they Mogwais, though? It's like Pet Cemetery. They don't. Yeah, they don't come back the same. I know what you're thinking. Don't bury them up there. They're not the same. This is essentially what happens.
Oh man.
Yeah, I think the nieces are old enough. They definitely gotta see it. They need to know about Spike and his sexual aggressive nature.
We need to point out here, evidently, there was an attempt made to use monkeys as gremlins instead of puppets, but the idea was abandoned because the test monkey panicked when made to wear a gremlin head. Come here, hold him still. Put this head on him. What are we doing?
I feel like we're like in full rotation back to the last podcast. It was like every which way but loose.
Yeah. Oh my, yeah. The orangutan, Clyde. Right turn, Clyde. Yeah.
Now, this auto shuffler idea was a great idea, and you can buy one of these now. These are a very popular invention. So,
was it invented in this film? I'm asking.
Your guess is as good as mine.
Possibly.
No, you can get one of these off wish.com. Wish.com, if you're out there listening. Please sponsor me and Tom. We need free knit hats.
Yes.
And stuff.
Yes. I'll take wardrobe. I'll take wardrobe in lieu of cash if necessary. So the Gremlins were designed by a guy named Chris Wallace. So this may not be anybody that you know. He is an American special effects artist. He worked on The Fly, for which he won an Academy Award. So he'd been in the business for a while when this movie came along, evidently. Or at least was very good at what he did.
There was something about them taking this original idea to the Henson Company, right? I don't have it pulled up, but I remember that was a conversation and they didn't.
So Chris Columbus, as we said at the beginning, Chris Columbus is attached to this film. This guy's a legend in his own right, from the John Hughes style, I would say. The Home Alone movies, Adventure and Babysitting. This guy's got a Hall of Fame career as a director, I believe, as a writer as well, of course. The story of Gremlins was conceived by Chris Columbus. Inspiration came from his loft when at night he heard what sounded like a platoon of mice coming out to hear them skittering around in the blackness. He said it was really creepy. He then wrote the original screenplay as a spec script to show potential employers that he had writing abilities. It was not actually intended to be filmed until Spielberg took an interest in turning it into a film. So, interesting. It went through a few rough drafts before his shooting script was finalized. The first version was much darker than the final film. Various scenes were cut, including one in which Billy's mother dying and her struggle with the gremlins with her head thrown down the stairs when Billy arrives. Holy Lord.
I want that version. There used to be this Easter egg on the original Halloween DVD because they filmed like Michael Myers killing everyone. So like you would like on the remote, if you hit like a certain button combination, it would show you like those cut scenes or whatever, like where Myers kills everyone, including the dog.
Oh, wow.
I think that was like an
Yeah.
old one I got from like PlayStation Magazine. I really miss like old school like rag mags, like PlayStation Magazine, Nintendo Power and stuff, man. Like I would,
Mm.
as a current subscriber of Premier Guitar, I really miss old school magazines. Let's see, I got one.
Wizard magazine was my magazine of choice as a comic book nerd. I loved Wizard magazine.
Support your mags, dude.
They brought
Out
Cream
there.
magazine back. Did you see that? The actual
No,
print
I
Cream
didn't.
magazine. Yeah, dude. We're seeing the inventions again in their house. The coffee maker, which looks like black tar coming out.
Which like is really funny because it's basically a Keurig.
It is basically. Oh my God! How many things did this movie invent?
This guy was a genius, dude.
Ahead of his time.
Inspired millions.
I mean, I'm starting to think this guy was Tesla. And then, Einstein came along and said, I believe I'll just take that. So,
yeah, my guy. Edison's just like, yeah, let me get up in there.
And then that's not Billy. Who's putting water on this mogwai?
It's his science teacher. He takes it in to the science teacher, explains what happened, and the science teacher, this is, well, spoiler alert for people that haven't seen this film. Things are not going to go well in this scene here.
What would possess Billy to do this? Because he's an idiot. What are we doing? Like, holy Lord.
He's an idiot in the sense of like Peter Parker is an idiot. Like, it's kind of a nerdy science kid.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, yeah, like,
So now he's going to give one away. They're knocking through the box at each other. That's cute.
It's so cute.
But here's Billy the idiot, kids. He's walking down the sidewalk. Yeah. We hear Mr. Futterman.
If anyone wants to get me anything for Christmas, all of these puppets. That's on the list.
That's all. I'm not asking for much. We hear drunk, anti-foreigner Mr. Futterman.
What's the worst thing is like towards the end, Futterman's right. He's like, I told you about them gremlins. which is not a great thing in the way that he presents it throughout the entire film.
I was gonna say, yeah, let's don't prove the somewhat racist individual to be correct in his assessment.
Yeah, I just assumed like they didn't make him old enough because I assumed that he was like in World War II, so he has like a hard anti anything that's not American.
No, he's old enough.
Is he? This is 80.
84?
Yeah, but right? Like if the war was in, he would have had to been like 70 here.
Well, that's fair.
But that's what I always assume. That's why I always assume the character is like he has a hard hatred for foreign countries because like a lot of people out of that time period, Pearl Harbor and a whole world war were not necessarily the biggest fans of anything that wasn't America.
Yeah, that's true. He just said the word gremlins, by the way. Foreshadowing. Which
you talked about how that was a term of like people would say that about their you brought that up earlier. See, I'm slow. Still early for me, man.
I was up at 6 o'clock this morning, man. Are you kidding me? I wake up, I kick the rooster in the pants. I said, "Let's go, boy. Let's go." What are we doing?
Tom Clark is the John Cena of waking up on Saturdays. I am more like the Sid Vicious of waking up on Saturdays. Might do it. Might play softball.
Hustle, loyalty, and respect, Chris. What can I tell you? So now they're walking together. Kate and Billy.
I like this bar closes at like 9 o'clock at night, though.
Small town, man.
Yeah, but it's a bar. Even in a small town. I assume that this is in like Wisconsin, so that bar is going to be open as long as possible. Nothing else to do in this town. You can go see a movie or go to the bar. That's how people become alcoholics, is move to Kingston Falls.
Oh, this is good. We got to point out also the Kingston Falls and It's a Wonderful Life takes place in Bedford Falls. He just walked her home.
Kind of off topic, but Xavier Woods' contract's coming up soon. That's interesting, right?
Yeah, but like, I think he stays, don't you?
I would assume so. I mean, like, dude, just from like his YouTube stuff, it's so tied into what he's doing.
Yeah.
But what if we get Lethal Consequences as a tag team again? I'm just saying. To be fair, I would be as goofy as Billy is right now if I was hanging out with Billy, like Phoebe Cates as well. Be saying all sorts of dumb shit.
I would too, but and here's this who we thought was a science teacher. What?
He is.
Guy's got a hypodermic.
Well, yeah.
What's he doing? Hypodermic?
I mean, I guess better than making meth in the classroom.
Well, I mean, if you're going to split hairs.
Man, it is really weird to think about this as a zombie film now. I can't not, like...
the Patient Zero thing, yeah.
Yeah, what's your the Night of the Living Dead, but like all of the zombies are Mogwai. It's like retroactively, me and you should just go back and put Gremlins in all zombie films. The Walking Dead, it's just Gremlins.
Yeah. Like the box of Mogwais.
Bro, that classic Coke plus bologna sandwich looks lit right now. I'm not gonna lie, I did not eat before this, and
God, I grew up with that crap too.
There's something special about a fried bologna sandwich, my man. As a man from the South, you're aware of this.
I'm aware of this. I haven't touched it in years because I grew up eating that stuff. I grew up with the fried bologna sandwiches. Tang, remember Tang? Because it was a poor man's drink. Because it's a great big honking can of powder, cost $2 or whatever it costs. So that and liver mush is all I ever ate. And now as a man, I'm not eating any of that crap. Ugh.
We had Kool-Aid instead of Tang, but yeah.
I love grape Kool-Aid.
And we had buttermilk and sweet milk. My grandma would say sweet milk. Get yourself some sweet milk. Which is just the opposite of buttermilk.
Buttermilk is made to dip chicken in for fried chicken, and that's it.
Frying stuff.
And making biscuits.
My grandpa used to drink it. Like he would dip cornbread in it and make like a buttermilk soup concoction and drink it. That's old school Southern. That's way older than me and Tom. Ain't nobody out here trying to do that.
No, my great grandmother did it. Huge clear glass. Speaking of chicken, those Mogwais just tore into a bird. Man, they were destroying that chicken, boy.
Also, the science teacher just randomly has a brain on his desk.
Yeah. And then he leaves food on the counter.
He's just eating lunch next to this brain. Let's start there.
And it's 2:20 in the morning, by the way.
Also, that bag of Doritos does look good.
Did Billy tell him about the 3 rules? Did he bother? Or no?
No, he just kind of told him what happened.
Oh, I see. So Billy is an idiot after all. I mean,
Yeah,
look,
Billy's a
this
complete idiot.
this whole movie's Billy's fault. I mean, his dad, sure, but look,
No,
his
it's all
dad.
Corey Feldman's fault.
Well, Corey Feldman had a hand in it, but Billy's the idiot that didn't. Billy's like, "Hey, watch this, teacher." You know what?
Bro,
They're
I would
watching
have
an
been
invasion of the body snatchers.
I would have been so pumped for this as a kid. I got a Mogwai, a TV above my bed on one of those little hangers. Bro, it's
Oh, it
my
says.
dream. Oh, and he has a Road Warriors poster like right next to the TV. I don't know if you noticed that.
Oh, I did not notice that. Kids, we are seeing the next morning the after effects of what happens when you feed mogwais after midnight. Oh, look out.
They turn into cute little things and then eggs and get gross.
Oh my. What hatches out of these cocoons is not going to be pleasant.
They're the Mogwai, I guess.
Billy with
Gizmo's like, bro.
his impressive deductive reasoning. Detective Holmes here.
Yeah. Billy is not Batman as far as detective skills goes.
Not at all. Hey, wait a minute.
I love that, like, the entire time Gizmo is like telling them this is bad.
Like, yeah.
He's like so terrified. He's like, no, dude, this ain't gonna go well.
You think when the casting call went out for the character of Billy, the notes read, idiot, moron, kind of a doofus.
I mean, that's kind of like all horror movies, though, right? You need the dumb setup character. We just did this, and we just talked about this on. Go back and listen to it. Dylan Tucker versus Evil. We talked about like they over exaggerated it, but that was like definitely you got to be a dummy to be in one of these movies, right? So.
Yeah, this is when these things hatch, kids. If I'm telling you, just get ready.
Jokes on us, Tom, because he gets to hang out with Phoebe Cates, and me and you are just here talking about his movie. So
no, that's fair. Who's the dummy now? I guess that'd be me. She look. A remote to answer the phone. This movie. Oh my god, dude.
See,
I'm saying. Holy Lord.
Tom's mind is blown.
Yeah. Look, he's like at an invention convention or something. Look at all the stuff around him.
Dude, do you like the time machine from Time Machine?
I was going to say, yeah, the time machine. And kids, here's another marker. The cocoons or the things are beginning to shake.
The idea, like all of the other ideas that he had in this house, the one that he's out there selling is stupid.
Yeah. Yeah.
In his house, he had so many other better ideas than this, like, all-in-one travel toothbrush, fingernail clipper, pick, shaving cream thing.
And you know what kills me is that, Hollywood reality dictates that they woke up and found these cocoons and then said, what are they? I don't know. I guess I got to go to work. And she goes, I guess I got to make breakfast. Like, we're not concerned at all about what these things are,
I mean, like, dude, you got to work, dude.
Got to pay the rent. I don't know what you're talking about.
The same way, I ain't trying to get fired out here on these
Right. I ain't gonna try to get fired because of some creepy little things in a cocoon. What you want from me?
I guess I'll take them to work with me.
Man's got to eat. I'll put him under the desk like I did the dog. It'll be fine.
Yeah, just put him under the desk. Little service animal.
Yeah, a little service
on all of them.
We'll put a vest on them. It'll be fine. What are we worried about?
It's my anti-anxiety Mogwais.
Yeah. It'll be fine. Just let me hold it. I'm having a rough day. I'm just gonna pet it.
If they all still looked like Gizmo, that would be a good thing at a bank, though. You can convince somebody to get a loan if you're like, yeah, but like, how about now? And you pull it out.
Like when a bank would give away calendars and stuff, right? Here's this. You know,
Here you go.
there you go, buddy.
Start you sure you don't want to start that savings account?
Guy's like, what is this? We don't know. You want one? Oh, that's right. We don't ask questions in this movie. I forgot. All right. They're hatching kids.
It's such a cute scene with him under the Honda helmet, like just peeking out, like letting the entire world know that this is not going to be good. It's not a good time.
Not a good time. So we neglected to mention this actor's name. Who's this character?
The science professor.
Yeah.
I don't know his name. I've seen this movie like 100 times and I don't know his name.
There's interesting.
Tickets to the Super Bowl would be very nice. And that's true.
I don't have a name for this gentleman. Interesting.
Let's see. IMDb. Let's do Gremlins.
Chuck Jones has a cameo. The great Chuck Jones as Billy's drawing mentor. Didn't know that.
Is the science teacher his drawing mentor?
Mr. Jones. It just says Billy's drawing mentor. Chuck Jones from the classic Warner Brothers days of animation.
So what you're saying is, down at the New Amsterdam, started this yellow-eyed girl, Mr. Jones strikes up. No, I'm kidding.
Man, my first ever girlfriend on the planet. That was like her favorite song, and I hated that song. Not because it was her favorite song, I just hated it. So she would, every time she was around me, she's singing it out loud and bopping around. I'm like, God, I hate this effing song.
Go back and listen to it now. It's a great song. This is a bopper, dude.
Yeah, it's not. I just no, I won't do it. You can't make me. But I do submit that Long December is one of the most beautifully written pieces of music and lyrics I've ever heard in my life. It is so good.
I will send you a version of me doing a cover of that song.
Do it. Oh, yeah.
That is. I love Counting Crows. If you ever get a chance to see them live, definitely recommend. They're a fun band live.
And I can say things now as the years continue because we lost her in the end of 2019, but my sister passed in December of 2019. So that song took on a whole new meaning for me. So it's easier to say now, but I couldn't. It's hard to say that out loud in the years that follow. But now as things go by, But yeah, that song's special to me now because of that, and it has nothing to do with that at all. But it's just you're a musician. It's how you connect things in your mind. That things mean more to you for certain things that happen in your life.
Lyrically, that is just a beautiful song in general.
It is.
There's a lot of sadness and happiness from that song, and if you've never heard that song, you should go listen to it and also look at the lyrics. Seems like it's all a lot of oysters with no pearls.
Oh. And Courtney Cox is in that video because she was dating the lead singer at the time, I think.
Who had like crippling social anxiety for a long time and a weight problem and like all sorts of issues. And also like he just became a bartender at that bar that River Phoenix died outside of for a while.
The Viper Room.
Yeah, the Viper Room. Yeah, he's a big proponent there. Like there's a documentary where he's actually like does a bunch of interviews but like he took like a hiatus. I mean, Counting Crows, like that album has like 6 hits on it, and it just kind of went. And he was one of those guys that was not ready for that at all.
Right.
Which I don't.
By the
know
way, kids.
For that either.
Yeah, at first fame, it's tough. It's tough. By the way, kids, Billy's science teacher didn't make it, and we just saw the hand and the half-eaten apple. He's not impressed with it. By he, we mean, and I was hoping the reveal was there, but it's not. By he, we mean, well, just wait for it. You'll see him eventually.
I'm giving a walk around cam to my fridge.
Not after midnight where you are, is it? Be careful. So we still don't get a reveal. The reveal comes. It has to come here somewhere, but I can't remember how the reveal comes. Billy done been injured. Billy the idiot has been injured, kids. Don't nobody be shed any tears over Billy the idiot, because a lot of this is his fault. Oh, the reveal has happened.
So, unlike most idiots, though, Billy does get smart and does, he gets better. He does start out like an idiot, though, but at least he learns. He doesn't stay an idiot the entire film. Most horror films, when you see the idiot, they stay an idiot the entire movie.
Yeah, that's fair. It's like the Borg. Captain, they have adapted. You know what I mean? It's like the same thing. The idiots.
Me and you need to do a next-gen deep dive, by the way, on one of these shows.
Yeah. I'm so torn on Next Generation, because the original Star Trek was my Star Trek. So when the Next Gen came along and suddenly you had the birth of the fanboy era where grown white dudes were going, nuh-uh, still happens today.
So that's how I feel about Star Wars.
Yeah?
That's how I feel about Star Wars. So I love the original Star Wars as a kid. I'd be outside with a stick being like, yong, yong, yong.
Yeah.
And then when Phantom Menace came up and we had these new introduction of toys and even these newer films, there's a generation of people that made fun of people that like that. Mm-hmm. That are now like, oh no, Star Wars is great.
Yeah.
It's kind of, and also I just don't think that a lot of the outside of the Mandalorian, most of that new Star Wars stuff is kind of garbage. So
yeah, it's some of it's tough, man. But with the Star Trek stuff, I was a William Shatner guy, and I love Patrick Stewart, but I wasn't a Captain Picard guy.
But I love both because it's what captain would you pick, right?
Yeah.
Do you want the one that's not going to cause a war, or do you want the one that's going to go to war? Which is great. That's why they're great.
Was it a magazine or something at the time that ran this big poll? Because I think this was pre-internet. I think it was a magazine that ran a poll or something about if the Earth was being attacked, which captain would you choose to defend us? And it was overwhelmingly Captain Kirk, because he's the guy that'd be like, let's go, screw him, let's just go, and just blast the crap out of him.
But that's an unfair question, because it would be if the world was about to get attacked, what captain would you pick, right? That's the question. Picard would do the same thing as Kirk if they were already being attacked.
Oh, I see. We're getting into the minutia of the poll question, I think.
Yes.
The mom's got a butcher knife here.
Yeah, kids. Dude, this is amazing. I love this scene. Also, I want that Crosley record player and that preamp that she has. That's it.
Yeah. And now we see the mother of Billy the idiot, which tells you that his DNA came honest. Because again, who walked away from the pods? I'm just saying. Wait, what is this? This should be fine. I got to go to work. Yeah.
Bro, this is my dream house.
Minus the Gremlins?
No. We hang out, dude. I need somebody to play Halo with.
They're just misunderstood.
Bro, me and the Gremlins, I'd start a band with the Gremlins. It'd be Chris Patton and the Gremlins.
Chris Patton and the Gremlins. Oh my God, that's good. Yum. Hey, look, the cookies were good. Let's don't forget the fact that the cookies are a hit, right? Oh, I remember how gross this is. Oh, look at that.
One of the reasons I haven't shown it to my nieces yet, because I'm there are some kind of kills that you don't think in this. When people think about this movie, they don't think it is a horror film. Granted, it was not it became a kid favorite, but we were also growing up in the 80s and 90s. So our level of tolerance is different.
She's pulling a Steve Rogers with that dinner tray. But let's don't forget that she is flat out in cold blood. She just killed that thing's brother. He was just trying to get revenge. Now she's killed 2 of them. Here's the third attempting to get revenge. And what does she do? She murders him as well.
Bro, she's like, this is such a good kill. She sprays him with Pam and then puts him in a microwave.
Oh. Oh. Ding. The microwave going ding is the crowning achievement of that scene.
It's amazing. It's amazing. This movie is so great. So
Holy
great.
Lord. Now she got 2 knives. It's like a John Wick movie now because, you know, holy Lord.
Tom, we've talked about some good stuff on this show, but man, this is like crowning achievement.
This is fun. I told you it's been years, and I've seen this movie 100 times, but it's been years since I've seen it once. So I suspect that mental stalking may be up to no good.
I don't want to spoil anything for people watching along that may not have seen it.
They're in now. They're in now. Kids, we are over the halfway point of this film. You're not going to find any ads in this episode except before we begin. So I will kindly remind everyone to please visit boinkstudios.com, BOINK, boinkstudios.com for podcast links, social media, and much more. And the tree is just falling on Billy the Idiot's mother. Have we seen Stripe? Is he? Was he the one that's with Billy, or is that someone else? There
Stripe
he is.
Was in yeah.
The big reveal. Didn't they give all of them names, but Stripe was the one that everyone kind of knew?
Well, yeah, because like most of the other, like the actual Gremlins, they're kind of similar. They have different striping, like patterns on their skins and stuff, but they're kind of like similar. And you know, Stripey has the mohawk. And they get to the second movie, you get way more individuality between each puppet.
Yeah,
which is great. We have a drag queen.
That's right.
Second film.
Hey man, if Bugs Bunny could do it, Gremlins can too.
It's great. It's great. I love that. You get Rambo in the second movie.
Yeah.
Also
I love
great.
I love that Stripe just took the time to blow his nose in the curtain before jumping out the window.
Yo, dude, he's smarter than the rest of the Gremlins, though. They all got murked by one lady.
Yeah.
Those
Dr.
little
Molinaro.
robots did. I had like a bunch of these as a kid. I was like obsessed with robots and like 50s, 60s science fiction, especially the square robots. I still love them to this day.
Mm-hmm.
But they used to sell those at like CVS or Eckerd's. You remember Eckerd's, Tom?
I remember Eckerd's drugstore. Yeah, for sure. And Revco. Did you have Revco?
Yeah, we had Revcos. So they used to have one, and maybe, well, as this winds down, I'll go pull it out of the closet and show it to you. But they used to have these square robots, and you would put like WD-40 on the top of their head, and it would blow steam out of its mouth.
Oh, that's fun.
It's just like, but yeah, that particular one with the hip spiral that was in the stocking, I had one of those as a kid.
We should mention this robot right here was famous in its time. This is it Lost in Space that robot's from? Or a variation of it anyway.
It's a variation of Lost in Space, but it looks so weird not in black and white. It's so much creepier in black and white than it is in that scene.
So Billy's walking in the snow, kids. He's got Gizmo in his backpack. He's got those old-fashioned big honking flashlights that took the D batteries. I had one. We all had those as kids. All we had. The big handle on top.
Now we got those ones you got to wind up.
Yeah, yeah.
Weather radio on the side.
Yeah. It's got Bluetooth. I'm like, what are we doing? It's just can't imagine that flashlight. What happened here? Can I get a flashlight? Sure. Would you like the one with Bluetooth, or would you like the one that, you can comb your hair?
Honestly, everyone should have one of these solar panel flashlights with a hand crank with a weather radio on it. It's just a good thing to have, like, in general. Get one.
Well, thanks for blowing my joke all to pieces. I appreciate that.
Well, you're welcome, sir.
I mean, thanks for making good common sense and ruining my moment. So
I'll be here all week.
Loud Noises bar. He looks over his shoulder. He's like, "Oh, what? Let me guess. Loud Noises bar, Mogwai, bother Mogwai too. Jesus, just would you stop yelling at me? You know." Oh, Stripe just took a swipe at Billy the Idiot, and then he jumps in the water.
No.
Yeah.
I like that he holds his nose on the way down, like.
It's great.
Bro Stripe, he holds his nose and throws the deuces.
I mean, I'm not suggesting Billy could do anything, but why are we still standing here? I would have been in Cleveland by now. Okay, I'm gone. That's it. But
not me, dude. I'm trying to start Chris Patton and the Gremlins out here. See which one can play drums, which one can play bass.
Oh my.
No,
I mean,
I agree with you.
He is known as the Idiot. So
the problem is in China. You could have just killed this Mogwai. Right? You could have just killed Gizmo. None of this happened.
I mean, but that's vicious. That's
Tom. You got to take down patient. You got to take down patient zero.
Patient zero. The monkey. You got to get the monkey. Yeah.
Yes.
Dustin Hoffman's in the chopper, and he's like, "Please, I'm talking to the pilots in the chopper.
Get to the chopper.
You need to understand what you're doing. You're going to kill all these people."
So when people talk about Christmas movies, and they all like, obviously, it always goes back to like, "Oh, Die Hard. Die Hard is a Christmas movie." This should be the one they're talking about. Like, honestly,
they never talk about this one, do they? It's always Die Hard.
This should be the one if people are talking about this and Batman Returns. It doesn't get enough Christmas movie respect.
Iron Man 3. I'm just saying. Iron Man 3 is a Christmas movie.
They lost me after they fired Terrence Howard. What are they doing?
I think Don Cheadle's awesome, and I think
I like Don. I was just messing with you, breaking.
Yeah. Hey, look, Terrence Howard. They called his bluff. Terrence Howard said, "Now, how you pay me this much? I want this much." They said, "Nah, it's all right. You have yourself a good day." They called Don Cheadle.
Yeah, God forbid Terrence Howard tried to get paid like half the amount of money as Robert Downey Jr. You know, I think it's kind of weird that we're not making as much money as this guy.
Look, I know this guy's spawning the birth of a universe, but hear me out. I should get a lot more money. And they're like, "Terrence, it was good to see you. We'll see you later."
I'm so happy for Robert Downey Jr.'s career resurgence.
Oh, me too.
Man. I really am, because I think he's a great actor. But like, it's always going to be, like, for me, like his iconic role is going to be Iron Man, the first Iron Man, and Less Than Zero.
Really? That's for you? Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Have you seen Less Than Zero?
Been a long time. Been longer than this, than Gremlins.
So, yeah, it's
long
people
time.
Don't want to talk about, Robert Downey Jr. doing
being messed up
things for drugs. It's just
I remember the movie. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, you're right. We don't talk about it. Like, it's just a movie. What are we doing? Like,
no one wants to think about Tony Stark out here trying to get that crack. That's something you don't want on your tombstone. I promise you. Your life's time. If I was Robert Downey Jr., it'd already be written.
Trying to get that crack. And now we come to find out Gremlins can operate a plow.
It's full circle. It's full circle.
Is that what we're calling this thing? I'm not good at naming farm equipment.
It's a tractor with like a plow on the front of it.
It's a plowter. I don't know. And Stripe's driving.
Because like he yelling about all these foreign cars and stuff, and he American tractor driven by gremlins. It's like, ha ha ha, don't be a racist.
Let that be a lesson to all you racists out there. Gremlins are coming for you.
Yeah. They don't care. They will totally drive a tractor through your house.
Everything, all of Mr. Futterman's worst fears have just come to fruition. They just happened in front of him.
I like
This,
he yells, "There's a real gremlin in
yeah,
my
yeah,
cab,"
yeah,
but as he's about to die.
yeah, yeah. Look, this is a fun little bit. I always enjoyed this bit.
Oh, yeah.
He's spitting.
In retrospect, if I didn't care about money and getting laid, I would have went to school for like puppetry. Because I love Muppets. I love
I love Muppets too. Look, even puppeteers need love, dude. I'm just saying. That iconic music. I don't think we've given the musical score a nod here either. But that music, pretty iconic.
It's great. It's a good soundtrack. It's very fitting, and they don't overdo it. I hate when especially it happens a lot in horror movies where they overvamp it way too much. They do a good job of keeping it kind of ambient and level.
Jerry Goldsmith. If you know anything about movie soundtracks, you know this guy.
I've never seen anything more American than this, by the way.
Composed 5 Star Trek films, 3 in the Rambo franchise, Logan's Run, Planet of the Apes, Patton, Papillon. This guy's had a huge career. And we know this actor who's been in everything.
Well, we know that like $100,000 went to the soundtrack budget now of that $3 million.
It's true.
Jesus. I didn't realize he did all the Rambo stuff. That's crazy.
Oh, yeah. Jonathan Banks is Deputy Brent Fry, kids. If you've ever seen a bad guy in a Hollywood movie, chances are Jonathan Banks played him.
That's true.
Really good actor, though. Really good actor.
Should replace him with. They should have had Jerry Reed in this film. Is what I'm thinking. Severe lack of Jerry Reed.
I feel that way about most films, if I'm being honest with you.
After watching Smokey and the Bandit, I'm out here watching like HBO series, and I'm like, the show suffers severe lack of Jerry Reed.
Yeah. Yeah. What you think about that latest whatever? And it's like, well, it's all right, but I mean, Jerry Reed's not in it. I don't know what we're doing here.
Imagine Heels, the TV series, but Jerry Reed's the promoter of the other company.
Oh my God. That's actually kind of perfect, isn't it?
It'd be great, right?
What's that character's name? We did the show.
The New Yorker, the New York guy. You have the DFW, and then you have his group that just shows clips from old TNA.
Can't remember his name.
Well, you know what? They don't want us to remember it. They canceled the show.
That's fair.
Suck it, stars.
Yeah, no kidding.
I'm still mad. They took it.
How dare you? What do you care about downloads and making money? Bring the show back. We made that point, didn't we?
I mean, I still feel like that was one of their more popular shows. So, like,
yeah,
they have that in power. Like I said, if you're a big 50 Cent fan.
So Mrs. Deagle here, who hated Billy's dog for various reasons, is a cat person. Now we begin to understand. She's a cat person. Look, oh yeah, let's throw water on them.
No, get away. Get out of here.
Gremlin carolers makes my day.
So back to the vinyl.
They're going, yeah. Oh yeah, my God, it's great.
He plays it on the vinyl.
Oh.
Man, see, kids don't know what they were missing out on.
Kids today with their hula hoop and their Dan Fogelberg. They don't know what's up. That's a basketball joker for you there. Love that movie.
Oh, man.
Oh, there goes the chair.
It's I like the Gremlins were.
Oh!
They're able to set booby traps now. They're learning.
Well, they are gremlins, right? They can F stuff up in the machinery. Did Miss Deagle make it, by the way?
No, dude, she did. She did. She's gone.
Is she gone? I don't remember. Gone.
She did. She did. She does not come back.
Santa's not doing well either.
There's a few people that get killed in this movie. She's one of them, and Hard deserves it because she was so mean to the dog. So you're like,
She
what she
was mean
did?
to the dog.
She going to die. You're like, you can't be mean to that sweet little papoose.
Let's hope the Gremlins spared the cats. However, the cats did nothing wrong.
Also, the drunk racist dude, he lives, by the way. Like, he did not die from the tractor event.
That's right. Yeah, Mr. Futterman makes it. Yeah.
But his wife does. She's just dead.
God, I'd forgotten that.
Yeah. I told you I love this movie, dude.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, God, this is nuts. How you can be so attached to something and through the years you just gradually let it go.
Maybe Corey Feldman's going to put on his Jason mask and scare the Gremlins off.
That's possible.
Dude, do you remember when they used to sell scissors like that? These giant, like,
they used to sell what?
Scissors. The scissors he just
used. Yeah.
Those shear scissors. Like,
those highly dangerous scissors.
Too many cats cut their fingers on those. They started selling us those little plastic ones when I was in school.
Safety scissors, yeah.
It's safety scissors.
You know, there's a whole generation, and by whole generation, I mean ours. Well, mine more maybe than yours. And you know, if you've ever been on Facebook for longer than 10 minutes at a time, you've seen those crazy posts like, back in my day, we played outside. We drank from the water hose and all this other stuff. And I'm like, do you know what was living in that water hose that you drank out of that had been in your yard for 3 weeks straight, accumulating bugs and bacteria? And, well, it didn't kill us. I don't think that's the point. If you found out today you put something in your mouth that was disgusting, would you go, that didn't kill me? Or would you go, oh my God, what did I just, right? But, you know, people believe that their era, their generation is the greatest of all time, and that's how they feel. So
it's funny because, like, you're from the South as well, but I feel like those are written from people of the North, and they're still like 10 years ahead of us. So you're like, back in my day, and they're talking about the 70s. We used to drink water straight from those. I was like, yeah, I totally did that too. But I think
I did that all the time.
I think that might just be like either a poor or Southern thing. Like, I don't.
And I did it so much that I instantly attached to a memory of doing it because the water was always warm because it's 100 degrees outside.
You gotta let it run out, dude.
Yeah.
You live in Georgia, that water's like 120 coming out of there. You gotta let that run for a little bit.
You gotta let that water cycle, man. You gotta let it cycle.
And you also have to, like, see, the other thing they don't talk about is the taste of that water. You have to, like, kind of do a spray thing. Mm-hmm. You know, you gotta hold like your hand over the top of it so it squirts. So
you get so
it doesn't taste as bad as just being like
yeah, sure.
The pressurized.
That way you're
not as bad. It's you drinking it so fast it doesn't matter.
You're blasting the insects into your throat as opposed to just feeling them go into your mouth. It's important.
You're drowning them on the way down. That's
as long as they're dead.
It's
I like how they're doing at the bar. They're doing the sing along with the beer and the popcorn, and
I think
they're fitting right in.
They missed a golden opportunity, like an old Irish jig here, like an old Lang Syne or something.
In part two,
Danny boy.
Yeah. In part two, they were speaking. One of them was like British, wasn't it? Roddy McDowall that did the voice in part two of the British Gremlin. I think it was Roddy McDowall. Right. Yeah,
that sounds about right.
Suddenly he could speak. Oh, the Flasher! Love the Flasher. Look at the thing's belly, man. It's crazy.
I mean, I guess I should be offended by it, but because there's no like they don't have any organ, they just like they have other babies by getting wet.
Yeah.
But actually, hold on. Tell that back.
Yeah.
But it's funny.
Oh. They're all smoking and drinking beer, and there's one dressed as a woman.
Yeah. It's the best, dude.
And of course, it's like prison girlfriends, isn't it? You know what I mean? That's what you like.
God, I love this movie so much.
The boombox. Yeah.
So much effort and time went into all of this set design, and and,
You got
and, and the puppets and everything about it, like the intentional the jazz, the Tom Waits gremlin over here.
Love it. Yeah.
Like it's just so good, dude.
The gremlin with the puppet on its hand.
The puppet holding a puppet. It's Inception before that movie was a thing.
Oh my God. Wow. Flashdance puppet. Now it's break dancing. I mean, it could just be the Gremlins are misunderstood. This looks like a frat house to me. Bunch of white dudes.
This is like Alabama every day. They ain't doing that much. I mean, they did kill that one dude, but like, you know, he had it coming. He did
what happened if I
needle into him.
Like, what happened if I stick my finger in here? I don't know.
That's a stand your ground situation. He shoved a needle in that grill and he got what was coming to him. Poor Phoebe Cates got how you gonna light 3 cigarettes with one match? That's tough.
She's figuring it out that the bright light did something to them. I ask you this. Was the little tiny match any brighter than the lights in the bar under which one gremlin was sitting down? I'm just a question.
Tom,
I know.
As I said on the last podcast, if we're going to start going into the intricacies
yes,
of the gremlins, it's just fun. No.
Don't try to make sense out of the nonsensical. What was I thinking?
Because if you're going to do that, then it's like, how are they allowed to walk around in the day? Like the sun should be a natural.
That's yeah. If you're marking the podcast, the VW Bug just pulled up to the bar, and she just smacked the gremlin in the face. She's opening the door, and she's heading out into the waiting arms of Billy the Idiot, who's going to drive his dumb car.
You gotta stop calling Billy. You're just mad because he's with Phoebe Cates and you aren't.
That's not untrue. However, he's still an idiot.
How's he? He hasn't done anything that dumb. Like, I mean, I get he's a little dumb, but like
intentionally wetting the mogwai, walking away from the pods and going, I don't know what they are. Ugh.
Oh my God, I would hate to watch comic book movies with you. Then, like, Jesus Christ, you talk about Billy being dumb. my guy. Let me tell you about the MCU.
Hey, I'm a big MCU guy, but I can admit when things are hokey. I can.
Billy's a teenager, and like I said, he does get better. Like, at least he gets smarter throughout the film, and he's dating Phoebe Cates, so he's already doing better than me and you both.
You're gonna die on that hill of him getting smarter, aren't you? I can already see it.
Yeah, dude. Seen the movie 1,000 times. Let me tell you about Billy. He saves the entire town, Tom.
If this were medieval times, Billy would be known as Billy the Idiot. I'm just saying.
Dude, disagree.
You can't let idiots get off, man. You got to hold them accountable.
The idiot is the kid that sold the Mogwai to begin with. That's
all right.
The
He's the first idiot.
He's the first.
What we're saying here, folks, is that young people are dumb. Okay, and that's not me hating. That's me This is me speaking truth to power. I love that phrase because I know what it means, and I think it's just written by someone who wanted to sound really smart. Here comes the story.
I like to think in my head like what Dusty Rhodes' reactions were when he was watching this movie.
That's a random thing.
Like, no, you were like kind of cut in your promo, and I just thought about Dusty Rhodes. So,
hey.
That thing running wild over there. Don't put no water on it. Don't put no water on it, baby.
They said don't feed it. Don't feed it, Daddy. So I didn't feed the thing. You understand? I didn't feed it one time.
My
'Cause I
doctor
knew.
said, don't feed me after midnight. You know what I mean? Baby.
We're glazing over this wholly ridiculous story that she's telling Billy. That her dad had been climbing down the chimney with presents.
Oh, yeah, and died as Santa Claus.
And died as Santa Claus.
And that's why she hates Christmas.
Yes.
Which still has nothing to do with why she's trying to save the historic landmark of this bar, by the way.
You would think they would have tied it together in some way and said maybe he owned the bar or something. I don't know.
I mean, if I was the director of this movie, I was like looking at the script. They're like, some of the stuff doesn't tie together, but we got Phoebe Cates and puppets, so we're good. He's like, have you seen Gizmo? He's adorable.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we're gonna get away with a lot.
You think on the set of the movie, these discussions are being had, and you had one guy going, look, I hear what you're saying, but we got Phoebe, we got the puppets, we're good.
That's what I would have done as the director. It's like, dude, we got a $3 million budget and we spent $1 million of it on puppets. So like, we don't have time for a script rewrite.
That's fine. Don't worry about it.
Look here, Affleck. We don't have time for 17 Batman script rewrites.
Yeah.
This is back in the olden times where people just got the script and did their job and
shut up about it. And we're glad to have the work. Now you sound like an old man. Back in my day, they handed me a script. And I was glad to have it.
You know what? I guarantee you, if you would have asked one of these people that were in this movie that read the script, they're like, that script was terrible. Iconic film. Sometimes just do the thing.
Just do the thing.
Just do the thing.
It's fine.
You don't know what a script's going to look like until you actually see it to fruition anyways. You're just reading lines. I mean, like, if the line's ridiculous, but like...
I agree with that to a certain extent, but I've heard plenty of actors interviewed over the years where they'll be asked questions similar to that, and a lot of them will say, yeah, we kind of knew it was going to be something big, or it's like, nah, we kind of knew this was horrible. Like, the dialogue sometimes will give it away as they're filming something. Not all the time, but sometimes. Now, to be fair, Carrie Fisher thought Star Wars was ridiculous. She did. So did Mark Hamill.
But, you could also just get really good at your job. Like, Dom DeLuise and Burt Reynolds and Sally Fields. And just show up and be like, this is the new script.
This is what we're doing now.
This is what we're doing now. If you don't like it, let me know. But I'm pretty sure it's better than what you guys have written, right?
Yeah. If you don't like it, we get it. That's okay. But we're doing this now.
I love this scene so much. This thing is so embedded in my head, like
in the theater. Oh my god!
Yeah. They're like putting the film on. There's like they start showing like the cartoons or whatever.
There's the flasher.
It's just flying. Yeah.
Oh my god.
There it is. There's the popcorn. And they all start saying, yeah, it's so good, dude. This movie should have won an Oscar. It's
god.
Whatever won let me look up what won an Oscar this year. It better be something good. This is 1984. Let's look at 1984 Oscars. I like to do this because just because it's not artsy doesn't mean that it didn't deserve an Oscar. Let's see. That was the 56th Academy Awards. There's no way. I messed up.
Oh, wow.
I messed up, Tom.
Yeah, that movie theater scene was iconic.
Okay. Best Picture was these are the nominees for Best Picture this year.
Okay.
Terms of Endearment, The Big Chill, The Dresser, The Right Stuff, Tender Mercies. I can't tell you a single thing about any of those films.
Okay. Terms of Endearment I've heard of, but I don't remember the plot. Right Stuff is the going to space movie about the 7 astronauts. Glenn, one of them. What were the other ones?
The Dresser.
Don't know that one.
Tender Mercies.
Don't know that one either.
You see my point.
Yeah. Are you suggesting Gremlins should have won the Oscar for Best Picture?
Yes, yes, I am. We're still talking about. We're doing a podcast about it right now. Ain't nobody doing a podcast about Tinder, Trenton. What was it?
Tender Mercies?
Mercies.
Ain't no Tender Mercy podcast.
Ain't no Tender Mercies podcast out here.
Ain't nobody debating Tender Mercies is a Christmas film, are they?
Yeah, ain't nobody talking about that.
Nobody care about that.
I mean, not to be that guy, but like, it really makes me mad, especially with comic films. Like, you have a brilliant comic film, great, right? Like Logan, for instance, like great film, and then they're like, comic movie.
Yeah.
It's like it's the same thing with horror flicks. You have a great horror flick, you're like, well, it's not going to win an Oscar. It's a horror flick.
Yeah,
and I like that's. It's really funny when you're like 20 years later or 30 years later, you look back at it, and you go, yeah, but see, no one talks about that one anymore. Like,
yeah.
No one cares, but people care
No one
about
cares.
Gremlins. People care about Gremlins.
All the artsy people got to feel good about themselves for a night, that they were vindicated for loving artsy stuff. Nothing wrong with artsy stuff. It's fine. But then we're all generations later still talking about the huge movies that impacted families, that dads take their kids to. Their kids will take their kids to. It's a generational affair, you know? So let me ask you this, because I don't remember like hardly any of this film. They lured them, or they got them all to this theater. They're going to set it on fire.
Right.
I can't remember.
Bastards, but with Gremlins.
Right. But I mean, listen, that's a long time to burn, right? So Billy the Idiot said, I'm going to take this cloth and I'm going to light it on fire, and I'm going to hope. There it goes. What was it he blew up again?
Well, they locked the film room, so he kind of shoved a cloth underneath
and the chemicals
lit it, so then it hit the celluloid, and then it was
right.
Because was, as they say in Inglourious Basterds, which I brought up, you used to not be able to carry these on a train because they're so flammable.
We just saw product placement with Three Musketeers bar. I'm just saying. Stripe had a bunch of candy.
Was it product placement, or is Stripe just lit, dude?
Yeah. Well, look, there's a lot of product placement right there. Oh, I had one of those as a kid. I am showing my age.
Yeah. Oh, the little bubble
mower. Yeah. Yeah, it pops the whole time. Yeah.
Yeah, those are fun for like all of 3 seconds, and then you just start swinging it around and doing circles because you're a kid, or that's what I did. I'm like, pop, 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 pop. You know, it'd be fun if I swung this around in a circle until I got dizzy and fell down.
Him going yum, 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 yum on that skateboard is awesome.
Yum, yum, yum. Yeah, it's great, dude. The garland in his hair. This is a way better Christmas movie than Die Hard. Get at me, internet.
I just recalled the water fountain scene. It came back to me.
Look at Giz. Oh, Phoebe Cates. Giz. It's my life right there. I love him. Get out here, Billy.
The minute he pulls back from kissing her, Gizmo should have gone, dude, do you know what we have to do here? Can we do this later? Like, you know, there's a lot to be done here, Billy the Idiot. Let's go.
Nah, dude, Giz self-preservation. He's like, dude, Spike's still out there, my guy. We got to take care of this.
If you're Gizmo, are you upset that they brought you? Like,
yeah, dude, you're like, I tried to tell you guys. Should
I even be here?
He's like hiding and like being like, I don't know about this. No one's listening to it. Like, they should have got him a speaking spell. Gizmo was obviously very intelligent. He could have figured out how to be like bad on the speaking spell. You
know? We just saw Stripe on the camera feed there, kids.
I so miss this 80s trope of like, if you're in an electronics store, they have a camera like set up. So it shows up on like 8,000 CRT monitors as you walk by. I miss that.
Important. It's obviously important.
I heard this is what the Beatles recorded their first album on, that mixer there.
Oh, well. It's possible. Look at those old toys, man. I see the speaking spell, like you said, or the what
That's
they
the
call
robot I
it.
was talking about. The one that just went
Yeah.
around. I had one of those. You put wheel on top of his head and it blows
Ah.
smoke. Sick, dude.
There's E.T. I love how they showed the E.T. and the stuffed animals. Nice little nod. And then, of course, he's behind the E.T. Nice
There's
little nod as
Sylvester.
well.
Suffering succotash.
Yep.
Wait, was that Sylvester that did Suffering Succotash? Or
That was
Okay,
Roman Reigns,
all
but it was also Sylvester the cat.
yeah, it's also
He will listen. He'll never live that down. I don't care what anybody says.
not as bad as John Cena calling Miz a jackwagon. Not
It's got
as
a ring
bad.
to it, though. It's got a ring to it because you don't know if you got cursed or if it's dumb. Because it kind of sounds. What was it? George Carlin's thing about words is like it kind of has a like a little giggle. You don't know if it's a curse word or not. Yeah.
Yeah, so like if you call someone a son of a biscuit eater, they're like,
Yeah. It's got that crunch to it.
my grandma always said if you thought about cursing, you cursed. So if you substitute a word, you might as well just said it.
Might as well just say it. And I'm like, all right, Mom, if that's the case, well, check this out. You just start talking.
Yeah. And they're like, oh, you're going to get in trouble the same amount. I'm just letting you know.
Don't do that. Don't do that, Junior. Yeah. Yeah, God's listening to everything you say.
I was like, man, I'm so glad that he did not watch me play Sonic last night. Hopefully he was busy.
God's playing it too. He knows. He gets it. There's
That's the movie I want where God like whole sends a controller through a wall playing like Dark Souls. He's like,
I've had enough. Never again. Oh, the bright lights are coming. The sun has come up on the sleepy town of Kingston Falls, where a horde of mischievous demonic gremlins have wreaked havoc, plunging the town into utter chaos and mayhem.
I do want to give a little bit of props to Neko, the toy company. They have done some really great scale models from this movie with all of the various, like the little crossbow and stuff. Like if you're into collectibles, they do really good work over there. They're expensive, that being said. So
Billy's out of breath.
Yeah, dude. Well, he works at a bank, dude. You know this kid was not an athlete in high school.
It's true.
Bro, 6-year-old me would whip Billy in a fight. Guarantee.
So I could take his lunch money from him.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
For sure.
Oh,
that being said, he is dating Phoebe Cates, though.
Here we go. Gizmo in the Barbie car.
Yes, it's the best, dude.
Oh my God. Boom. Sound effects. The sound effects of going through cardboard. It's always fun.
Yeah, I actually feel bad that like kids don't have toy stores like this because like when I was growing up, we still had like KB toys.
Yeah.
You know, like you still at like, FAO Schwartz and stuff. You had these toy stores that would have these crazy, like intricate layouts and like big displays of certain things. And like that does not exist now. Like
I spent my formative years in comic book stores and toy stores all the time. All the time.
Yeah, I feel like this is a good recreation of what like a big, like single toy store in a town would look like. In the 80s, right? Like I think they did a good job.
Looky now, it says. And a gun. So
yeah, I like that they just sell guns at the toy store. But like,
I was just gonna say, is this a hardware store or a toy store?
Dude, hashtag America.
Yeah.
Give our kids guns early.
Around the corner from the Barbie cars are pistols.
Maybe it's like a BB gun. Dude, I had a BB gun when I was like 6. So don't shoot your eye out, kid.
Dude, when I was a kid, all of our toy guns looked like the real guns. Because I remembered when they introduced the red plastic tips to the weapons. Because they were trying to differentiate them because, kids were getting killed because we shouldn't have had plastic guns that look like real guns to begin with, but we thought it was awesome.
Yeah, my first BB gun definitely did not have a red tip on it. I mean, like classic Red Ryder, I can't remember there being a red tip on that. Also, I saw Terminator 2, so I just walked around trying to like do the flick thing, like the shotgun.
Oh, I had one. Yeah, I had one of those.
My wrist was really strong when I was like 7 years old because I'm like,
yeah. The one I had was not made to do that. So every time I flipped it around, it cramped my hand and pinched it, and it hurt, but I didn't care because it was just like, this is the greatest thing ever.
You're like, because Terminator 2 Judgment Day. That's what I was doing.
Yeah.
I don't care.
It did it. I'm Terminator 2.
A little bit of pain's worth it because I look so cool. I love that movie so much that when I went to go get my haircut as a kid, I was like, I want the Schwarzenegger. So there's like photos of me with like the same haircut. Man.
By the way, T1 and T2 are in the archives, children. So
yeah, we gotta do that T3 episode.
Oh yeah, no. They didn't make a T3. I don't know what you're talking about. Phil Lindsay and I. Shout out to Phil.
RoboCop.
We have not done RoboCop.
We should do RoboCop, especially on the cusp of that game. The game is really great, by the way. Anyone
I'm down for RoboCop.
Video games. The new RoboCop video game is phenomenal. It's after the events of Terminator, or between, not the Terminator, RoboCop 1 and RoboCop 2. It's in between. It's a great game.
I'd like to play it.
If you like campaigns and first-person shooters, right? So like you've been looking for that Halo in your life that they don't really give you anymore. It has that, but it also has detective stuff. And Peter Sellers is the voice of RoboCop, and it's great.
You mean Peter Weller?
Peter Weller, yeah.
Peter Sellers would have been hilarious.
That would, Pink Panther would have been. In fact, now I want that game.
Yes,
but yeah, no, he's the original voice of RoboCop is the RoboCop. It's great.
It's great.
It's a phenomenal game.
Dead or alive, you're coming with me. So we just missed the horrific end of Stripe. Stripe is no more. He has ceased to be.
Well,
never mind. He's back.
Yeah, I was like, well.
But now Stripe is no more. He has expired. He has ceased to be.
I want to know what went into making that puppet, like that deflates, like kind of
awesome.
That's really cool. I wonder what all went into that, like how they did that.
That looks so good. I mean, not good, but like good, disgusting, but awesome. Yikes. That's fun.
Also, no dogs were harmed in the filming of this movie.
There you go. Gremlins, however, were harmed during the film of this movie. And there's Billy. After this town has been destroyed, Billy the idiot on the couch with his father, the bigger idiot.
Bro, he just saved the entire town. You still call him an idiot. My guy.
How'd the town get burned down to begin with? Well, all right. Look.
Corey Feldman. That's how. Corey Feldman spilled water all over that one.
It's either going to be Billy the idiot or William the doofus. You make your pick, and I'll call him that. But
it's all Rand's fault.
Honey, this here is the fellow what done sold me that thing in the box.
Bro, what if it's like a Kill Bill scene? He just shows up and starts like it's all the blood. It's like
he's like, I told you. Didn't I tell you?
When the Mogwai pulls out like a little letter opener.
They start going at it. Old man's like, stupid white people.
He's like, you taught him to watch television? Yeah, he really likes it. Turns out like staying in a bird cage most of his life was not great.
And he's speaking a language.
Oh, I have closed captioning on, so it just says speaking Mogwai, by the way.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
You know what he's saying? I'm sorry these people are so dumb.
Bro, if people could really get out here and create a Mogwai language, I'm down for that, dude. I want to put that on my resume. Speaks fluent Mogwai.
Yeah. Random things should go on your resume, like speaks fluent Mogwai. People say, you know, what's your faith? I say Jedi. You know what I mean? It's important to do random things.
So I bought like the land in Scotland. So technically I'm a lord, but also I've done 3 weddings. So I'm a reverend. So like next time I put a job resume, I'm like Lord Reverend Christopher Ray Patton. I was like, it'd be like this long for the
You're giving Jerry Reed a run for his money in terms of Renaissance man now. I'm just saying.
Yeah, dude, I got the gimmicks.
Listen, I know Billy's sad. We're sad as an audience because we no longer get to see this furry little creature because he's cute. This family has no business with this thing. It has been protected and been safe for... That's cute.
I love the Mogwai singing. It's the best.
Goodbye, Billy stuff.
Oh, now I'm sad.
No, grandfather, he will not be ready. He will not run as fast as you can to get out of that stupid town.
Until then, the Mogwai will be waiting. I like that they didn't have any money, but then this guy like bought a plane ticket to America, so now they have even less money.
God, he's getting the smokeless ashtray. No, it won't.
He should have sold him that Keurig. That would have been yeah, bro.
God, his stuff. I cannot believe we stumbled across a massive find today, or I did, about how these inventions came to pass later in life.
Yep.
There's William the doofus.
I have one problem with like, so when they do these movies and there's like, he's the inventor, right?
Oh, that's a real town. Let's acknowledge the real town he's walking out of.
Oh, yeah, clearly, dude. Not definitely.
Not a Thomas Kincaid painting. Let's just make it clear.
That's exactly what this town looks like after the Gremlins ran through it.
Yeah. Should there be flames in the background? You know what I mean?
That'd be amazing. They just did this and then just like CGI'd flames. We're talking the George Lucas cut of this film.
Is it trying to play Goonies for you next?
I mean, maybe. I don't know.
It is for me.
No, it hasn't hit. They're probably
by the way
like that much. So
I love Goonies. Never done Goonies on the show.
I will do Goonies with you as a observer of not liking Goonies. So
no, we can't do that. We either had to do excellent stuff here, or stuff that, like when we did the DC stuff, we just wanted to do it and go, oh my God, this is so bad, right? But like, not stuff that's horrible.
Well, Goonies isn't horror. Goonies isn't horrible. It's just not like my iconic childhood movie.
It is
like
for me. Holy Lord.
Mine would be like Sandlot. Like I would take a Sandlot over Goonies like if you're talking about like the coming of age child stories, I would take Sandlot over Goonies.
See, there's some difference in our age. So Sandlot came along later for me at a time when I wouldn't have cared about it. Do you know what I mean? Like my sister would have cared about Sandlot, but not me. You know what I mean? So
no, yeah.
Well, kids, guess what? There's your Christmas episode. The movie has done. If you're still watching the movie, well, you didn't listen to the time cues too well, did you? Because we're done. So,
shout out to Gaffer Norman Harris. You taped the floor real good, my guy.
Oh, look, it's the stagehands that keep the production going. We just be honest with you.
It totally is. I am not.
It is.
It really is. I've been on sets.
The demanding director that has to have coffee and they have to have bagels. And I mean, who's going to feed these people? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's the little people.
You know, we the negative cutter Donna Bassett Very important to the Gremlins.
Are you still watching the credits? You're still watching the credits. Thought we were doing a watch along. We're going to the end, aren't we?
I was waiting to.
What are we doing? I thought we were doing the whole thing.
You know, Do You Hear What I Hear by Johnny Mathis. That was a bad yeah.
It's like Whose Line Is It Anyway when they're always told to read the credits as the show's going off the air.
Footage from Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. 1937 Walt Disney Productions. It has that tag in it. I did not realize. I knew that Snow White was old, but I did not realize that was 1937.
I was thinking 50s, honestly. I didn't think 37. That's
crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I never would have known that.
Man, Walt. Also, anyone out there, this is not. I'm not affiliated with this at all. But if you like weird Disney stuff, check out Defunctland on YouTube. He does some great documentaries about Disney and other defunct rides around Universal Studios, and
nice.
He also does the entire story of Walt Disney, which was very eye-opening and kind of crazy. This man tried to create his own country inside of the United States, essentially. Yeah.
Was it? What was the Family Guy when Peter tried to? What they call it? Pretoria or something? Am I remembering correctly?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Every time I think about Peter doing something like that, I think of the left foot, right foot. Randy Newman. Goes to take a bite of the apple. Takes another look at Randy.
The bit when Peter falls down and hits his knee and then sells it for like 9 minutes. Yeah, dude, that is classic.
It's classic. It's funny.
Now we're going to talk about Family Guy. So you everybody just hold on. No.
I recently watched, well, I'm not caught up completely on the last like 3 years, I guess, but I had watched everything up until there during COVID, like while I was working and stuff. It ain't South Park, Mike.
Yeah.
It's like there's so many hit or miss things, and then there's really, really great episodes of Family Guy.
Yeah.
Like the
I think Family Guy falls into the
Brian
trap
and
of
Stewie. Yeah. Well, the Brian and Stewie episode where they're locked in the bank vault and they kind of get serious.
Yeah.
Is great. It's great. It's still got comedy in there, but there's a lot of like other undertones, which is kind of what South Park is so good about doing.
Yeah.
But then there's other episodes of Family Guy. Remember that one time? Or that's like I see why you guys get made fun of for that.
What I was going to say was that this show, in my opinion, fell into the trap of it's become self-aware. Like, it's one thing to wink at the camera, but when you know you're winking at the camera, because you know they know you're winking at the camera, it becomes a whole Truman Show kind of thing. And for me, that's where the show can miss the mark. Whereas, just wink at the camera. I'll get the joke. You don't have to keep up with it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
What
for me,
you're
that's where
they are no 15 minutes into Smokey and the Bandit with the wink and smile and driving off in a Trans Am. That's basically what you're trying to say.
Yes. Long before Ryan Reynolds, kids. Long before Ryan Reynolds, Burt Reynolds. Oh my God.
The original Deadpool. Burt Reynolds.
Long before Ryan Reynolds, Burt Reynolds. Huh? I'm just saying. And yes, I just now made that connection. Holy God.
Are you saying that Burt Reynolds went up to Canada, beat all of the Winnipeg Jets up, and then had a relation with a Canadian woman? That's how Ryan Reynolds exists?
I mean, they're both cool, dead sexy. I'm confident in my manhood. And funny, can act, charming. I'm saying.
I mean, that is why they call him the Bandit. It's right there in the song.
It's in the song. What more can you ask for? Now we're going to talk about Smokey and the Bandit.
Dude, I had so much fun watching Gremlins with you. I love this movie. It is a huge part of my childhood. Like I said, everyone, please don't go and buy these vinyl books at the same time as me and Tom because
No,
like
save it.
I don't want them to shoot up in price
Yeah.
before I get in on this. But if you after we buy them, you give us like 5 days, and like after we buy them, you go get those. Those are great too. It's
Yeah.
phenomenal film. One of my favorite Christmas movies. It's this and Muppets Christmas Carol. Those are my like 1 and 2 every year for the Christmas holiday season that I have to watch.
Mm-hmm.
I'll maybe Home Alone would be the third on that, but yeah, phenomenal film. Great, a good introduction for the youngins in your life, your 13, 14-year-old kids, maybe never seen a horror film. This is like a good soft leap into that. Great film. Also a zombie flick, as we found out.
It's yeah. I'm trying to name it something other than that, but I don't really have a word, like an infected, but it's a zombie. Yeah, you're right. Is that your last word, by the way?
It's my last word. If you want to talk to me on Twitter or Facebook, or Twitter, it's or X, it's at Chris R. Patton. On Facebook, Instagram, Christopher.R.Patton. There's some stuff on SoundCloud. If you Google me, you'll find it. And there's an Easter egg in one of the Tom shows coming up.
We won't tell you which one. No, you can figure it out. Well, kids, there you have it. There's the Christmas episode of the 6M podcast, or shall we say, holiday episode of the 6M podcast. As we take it home, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa. Have a great one if you celebrate it. If you don't celebrate it, have a great week. Have a great month. Everybody take care of yourselves. Be safe out there. Celebrate, don't celebrate, up to you. And please stay tuned for more. Thanks for supporting the show. We very much appreciate it. And we will see you soon. But for now, that is Gremlins.